Welcome to this comprehensive guide on navigating U.S. reentry while on STEM OPT. To begin, this is not routine vacation planning. Rather, it is a high-stakes legal compliance event where your preparation directly influences your admission outcome. In this video, we will break down the required documents, explain what CBP verifies, and outline proven pre-travel steps, while we also include quizzes to reinforce your knowledge. Now, let's transition into why this matters so much. Crossing the border on STEM OPT is treated by CBP as a fresh opportunity to verify your compliance. Consequently, officers may ask detailed questions about your employment and documentation. Even small errors, like an outdated I-20 travel signature, can trigger secondary inspection or denial. With that in mind, let's preview what we'll cover so you can approach the border with confidence. Here is our agenda. First, we will identify the essential documents you must carry. Next, we will examine what CBP verifies during inspection. Then, we will provide a step-by-step pre-travel checklist to streamline your preparation. After that, we will highlight common pitfalls and red flags. Additionally, we will test your understanding with short quizzes. Finally, we will wrap up with key takeaways and resources. Important disclaimer. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Immigration cases are fact-specific, so before you travel, you should consult your DSO and, where appropriate, an experienced immigration attorney. Let's clarify what CBP actually verifies. First, officers confirm that you are maintaining valid F1 status under STEM OPT. Second, they assess whether your employment is directly related to your STEM field, which is a strict requirement. Third, they look for concrete proof of active employment, such as recent pay stubs and your offer letter. Fourth, they consider whether your SEVP and DSO reporting is up to date. Finally, they validate your identity and the currency of your passport, F1 visa, I-20 with a recent travel signature, and your EAD card. With this in mind, let us visualize the process you will experience. This flowchart shows the key stages. First, you plan your trip. Next, you conduct pre-travel checks. Then, if your documents are complete, you depart. After arrival, you go through primary inspection. If anything is unclear, you may be referred to secondary inspection. Ultimately, if your evidence is consistent, you are admitted in F1 status for duration of status. If it is inconsistent, your admission may be denied or deferred. Now, to avoid pitfalls, let us detail the non-negotiable documents. Your documentation must be flawless. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your reentry date. Your F1 visa must be unexpired unless you are only traveling to certain contiguous territories under specific circumstances. Your STEM OPT EAD card must be unexpired. Critically, your Form I-20 must have a travel signature from your DSO dated within the last 6 months. Traveling with an older signature is a common and entirely preventable cause of secondary inspection or denial. Next, let's organize the validity requirements in a quick snapshot table. This table summarizes each document, its required status at reentry, typical pitfalls, and supplementary proof that strengthens your case. As you review it, identify any gaps in your own file and resolve them before you travel. Now, let us visualize the document set in a quick mind map. This mind map groups the essential pieces of your reentry packet: passport with at least 6 months validity remaining, an unexpired F1 visa, an I-20 with a travel signature no older than 6 months and with current employer information, an unexpired EAD card, an employment proof including offer letter, recent pay stubs, and SEVP or DSO reporting history. Additionally, maintain both digital and physical copies to avoid single points of failure. Next, we will transform this into a step-by-step checklist. Follow these steps in order. First, confirm your job is directly related to your STEM field. Next, ensure your SEVP and DSO records are fully updated. Then, request a fresh I-20 travel signature, ensuring it is dated within 6 months of your reentry. After that, verify that your passport is valid for at least 6 more months, your F1 visa is still unexpired, and your EAD card is unexpired. Additionally, assemble 3 recent pay stubs, your offer letter, supervisor contact, and worksite address. Furthermore, print your itinerary, proof of housing, and return ticket. Organize all items in a clearly labeled travel folder. Finally, prepare concise, truthful statements about your role, core duties, work location, and weekly hours. While experiences vary, you should expect detailed questions about your employer, job duties, work locations, and weekly hours. Officers will often request pay stubs, your offer letters, and evidence that you have kept your reporting current. Although many students seek airport-specific anecdotes, the officer's interpretation and workload typically matter more than the airport itself. Therefore, remain calm, answer questions directly, and avoid offering unrelated information. Now let's map the timing windows that often confuse travelers. This Gantt-style chart illustrates typical validity windows using example dates. While the dates are placeholders, the rules are consistent. The I-20 travel signature should be no older than 6 months at the time of re-entry during STEM OPT. Your EAD card must be valid on the date you return, and your passport should extend at least 6 months beyond your re-entry date. With timing clarified, let us compare a well-prepared traveler with an unprepared one. On the left, the prepared traveler has an organized folder, a fresh I-20 travel signature, recent pay stubs and an offer letter, and current SEVP or DSO records. They provide concise and consistent answers, and carry both digital and printed backups. On the right, the unprepared traveler is missing a recent travel signature, lacks pay stubs, cannot clearly articulate job relevance to their degree, and has reporting gaps. Their documents are disorganized, and they rely on anecdote rather than regulation. Consequently, the prepared traveler is far more likely to clear inspection smoothly. Quiz time. The question is, how recent must your I-20 travel signature be for re-entry while on STEM OPT? Option A, within the past 12 months. Option B, within the past 6 months. Option C, within the past 3 months plus employer letter. Option D, only the original program signature is sufficient. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the correct answer in the next section. The correct answer is within the past 6 months. During STEM OPT, the I-20 travel endorsement is generally valid for 6 months. Therefore, obtain a fresh signature if yours will be older than 6 months at the time of re-entry. Second quiz. The question is, if a CBP officer asks for proof of active employment, which is the strongest evidence set? Option A, a screenshot of your LinkedIn profile. Option B, a verbal explanation of your job duties. Option C, recent pay stubs plus your offer letter and SEVP reporting history. Option D, a copy of your old student ID card. You may pause the video now to consider your choice. We will reveal the answer in the next section. The correct answer is recent pay stubs plus offer letter and SEVP reporting history. Objective documentation is more persuasive than social media profiles or verbal explanations, and it directly addresses the officer's verification needs. A common misconception is that certain airports are easier than others. In reality, uniform federal regulations apply nationwide. The variables are the individual officer's interpretation and workload, along with the strength and consistency of your evidence. Therefore, rely on regulations and documentation, not on anecdotal reports. Before purchasing tickets, audit your SEVP portal entries and school records for completeness and accuracy. If your travel signature is approaching 6 months, request a new endorsement. Ask your employer's HAR for employment verification and confirm that the job classification aligns with your field. Carry a concise job description that clearly demonstrates direct STEM relevance. If your case has any complexity, consult an experienced immigration attorney early. Next, let's cover the most common red flags that lead to secondary inspection. Watch for these red flags: an outdated I-20 travel signature, an EAD that you did not bring or that is close to its end date without clear evidence of timely extension, a job title that does not match your STEM field, unexplained gaps in employment or reporting, lack of recent pay stubs, and uncertainty about your work location or hybrid arrangements without documentation. Address these issues before you travel to reduce risk. Here is a quick Markdown-style checklist you can print or save. Work through each item methodically. As you complete them, you will reduce friction at the border and increase your confidence. Finally, let us consolidate the key takeaways and visualize the importance of preparation. In summary, flawless documentation is non-negotiable. CBP will verify your status, the direct relevance of your job to your STEM field, and whether your reporting is up to date. During STEM OPT, ensure your I-20 travel signature is within 6 months. Carry recent pay stubs, your offer letter, and your reporting history to show active employment. If you are uncertain about any aspect of your case, consult your DSO and an immigration attorney before you travel. This sequence diagram will illustrate the interactions among the traveler, airline check-in agents, CBP primary inspection, CBP secondary inspection, and employer HR. Initially, airline check-in verifies that you hold the documents necessary to board. Upon arrival, CBP primary verifies your passport, visa, I-20, and EAD. If questions arise, you may be sent to secondary, where officers can request pay stubs, your offer letter, and may even call employer HR for verification. Finally, based on the consistency of your evidence, CBP decides whether to admit you, defer your inspection, or deny entry. The key takeaway is that organized, verifiable documentation shortens this chain and improves outcomes. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. In addition, post your toughest re-entry question in the comments so we can create future videos that address your needs directly. Until next time, travel prepared and stay compliant.